George Webb is one of the most cutting-edge independent investigative journalists in the United States. I have been following his work for more than 5 years, and during that time I have been convinced that his reporting is extremely in-depth and impartial. But now that I have met him personally, I can assure you that George is also an amazing guy and a true friend. So, what's the reason 49 of his best-selling books were banned on Amazon? Why was his YouTube channel wiped out 29 times? Why was his Twitter account hacked and his Patreon account frozen? No matter how bold his predictions are, they are almost always right on the money. Many major news networks broke his stories years after he did. So what it is they don't want you to know? Let's find out.
Okay.
So for the starters, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how your journalistic career started.
The reason I never went into journalism. My brother was studying journalism. I was in computers.
Yes.
We all wore shirts like this, high-tech shirts, Cisco, Oracle, Sun Microsystems. I worked for Sun, I worked for IBM, I worked for HP, big American companies, tech companies. But I just happened to work for a company called Network Associates that also employed a guy named Dmitry Alperovich. And he later went on to the Atlantic Council, and then he became the head investigator for the DNC hack, quote-unquote hoax hack of the DNC. And I remembered Dmitry from 16 years before, in 2000, when we bought his company from Moscow, 12 hackers, and they wrote viruses. So they were using Dmitry and his group to write the viruses while our people were then selling the antivirus software. Very unethical. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he was running the investigation for the Hillary Clinton hack, it seemed more like a hoax, okay? And every time in everybody's life you have things where you go, well, that's so what, that's just corruption, right? But this was one of those things where I said, I cannot believe this. This can't be happening. This guy I knew that was the hacker is supposed to be the investigator. It's like the fox in the chicken coop, right? Yeah. So that's when I started to write, and just a little bit on YouTube when I started. I didn't put my face up there. I just had pointed slides for 9 months, and then people said I didn't exist. They said I was a CIA agent. They said I was a Mossad agent. They said I was a Russia agent. They said everything. So finally I put my face out there and said I'm a real person. So that's kind of how I did this. And gradually over time I just stopped working and started doing this more. I sold 2 of my houses to finance this, and I've been doing this ever since, 6 years.
The next question is, what brought you to Europe?
This guy named Simon did a video about Melania Trump.
I didn't, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I came to Europe because a lot of my stories about Europe. Dmitry Alperovich, the guy I told you about with the hack, or was it a hoax? He was Atlantic Council, and he was from Ukraine. And a lot of the people that were being infiltrated into the Republican campaign in 2016 were from Ukraine and NATO. So there was Italians, there was Dutch, there was French, there was a lot of Europeans. And in Europe, I think people know a lot more what NATO means than the United States. Every once in a while, there'll be a parade in Norfolk, Virginia about NATO. That's all people know about NATO. There's a little flag, there's a little thing, but they don't know its military exercises. When I first was in Europe playing basketball, I was in a town with a U.S. tank base. So it's different when the nuclear war happens in your backyard. It's different than when it's over an ocean away. So I think I came to Europe just to research and go up close and personal to stories I've been covering over the last 5 years, and also meet people who follow me.